Hello friends, so today we are going to go over Unit 10 volume. Let's go ahead and go over the vocabulary. So here, the first word we have is volume. It is the amount of space that the object takes up. Okay, so it's everything that's inside of the cube. Okay, base is the bottom of a pyramid or the two parallel faces of a prism. Okay, here the base is going to be the bottom of this pyramid. Okay, now here we have face. It is a two-dimensional shape that makes up a prism or pyramid. Okay, so these faces right here, this is the face. Okay, that is going to be what makes up the prism or pyramid. Okay, we have height. Height is going to be all of these right here. Okay, and these are also, these are also going to connect the bases together. Okay, then we have edge. Edge is the dimensions of a figure. Okay, and then the dimensions are going to be the length of each edge. Okay. All right, pause if you need to, and then go to page 890. All right, here, let's go to page 90. On page 90, we have, let me see if I can fix this a little bit for you guys. Okay, so here we have volume of rectangular prism. This is what we're going to go over first, okay? Now, volume is going to be the cubic units that are needed to fill the space inside of a 3D figure. Okay, so looking at this right here, these right here that I'm highlighting are the height. Okay, this is the height of the prism. If I'm trying to look at the base or find the base, it is going to be this rectangle right here and this rectangle right here. Okay, let's go ahead and label this base, and this is base. Okay, on this one, these are the heights. Okay, and then the base is going to be this rectangle right here and this rectangle right here. Okay, now that we have that, let's move on. Let's look at the vocabulary, okay? So here the vocabulary is going to be that for the bases in a rectangular prism, there are two, okay? And these two bases are going to be in the shape of a rectangle, okay? They are going to be found at the bottom or top of the shape. Okay, so here we're talking about the bases, okay? Now I'm going to come over here to the big B, and I'm going to talk about that, okay? The big B, it stands for the area of the base. Now, it's different than what we previously did in Unit 9, where we talked about area equals base times height. And if you remember, I talked briefly about how do not capitalize the B. You have to use a lowercase b, okay? And that is because when we get to volume, here is where we use the capital B, okay? And you can find the area of the base by doing area equals base times height, okay? So this part right here is what we use, okay? Now, here, let's go on to faces, okay? When we're talking about faces, there are 4 of them in a rectangular prism. They are all in the shape of rectangles, okay? Now, talking about the height, H stands for height of the prism, okay? And this is what connects the bases together. Okay, now pause if you need to. I'm gonna move this down to look at the formulas, okay? For the formula, we are going to use V equals big B times height. Now remember, we can use this as V equals base times height. This is the formula to find area of a rectangle, okay? And that's going to be multiplied by height. This, remember, is prism height, okay? Another thing that we need to make sure that we understand, we've already written this, but the big B stands for area of base, okay? And you can find the area of the base by doing base times height, okay? All right, pause if you need to, and then we will go on to the next page, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next page, so if you need to, go ahead and pause. Okay, we're here, and we have 4 examples that we're gonna go over, okay? So let's look at the first example. The first example is saying that the dimensions of a rectangular prism are 2 feet by 4 feet by 3 feet. And it's asking for the volume, okay? And it's also saying that it's a rectangular prism, okay? So this space that we have here is to help us break this down a little bit, okay? So here, we know that it's a rectangular prism, and it's asking you, I know it's a little bit hard to see on this video, but here, this says big B area formula. So remember, we're finding the area of a rectangle. This is why we circled this. So that area is going to be base times height. It's actually area equals base times height, right? And here we're going to look at our information that we have. It says 2 feet by 4 feet, okay? This is going to be the base. And here when I'm talking about the base, it's the rectangular base, like the base, okay, of the figure. And then 4 is going to be the height of base, okay? The 3 that we have here, this is the prism height, okay? So now let's go ahead and continue. Oh, I didn't even realize y'all couldn't see that, friends. Okay, so now that we have established that, again, I'm going to repeat this because I didn't know y'all couldn't see. 2 feet is going to be the base of the figure. 4 feet is going to be the height of the base. And then 3 is going to be the prism height, okay? So let's come over here. We're going to fill things in that we need to fill in, okay? So here, the substitution of BH is going to be 2 times 4, and we're multiplying all of this by the height of the prism, which is going to be 3, okay? Now, it's asking us here, is this a pyramid? No, it's not. It means that we are not going to be dividing by 3, okay? And I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but here, this means all we have to do with rectangular prisms is do volume equals base times height, okay? And remember, we can change the big B to just base times height, multiply that by the height of the prism, okay? So let's substitute. We're going to do 2 times 4 times 3, okay? 2 times 4 is 8, so now we have 8 times 3. And 8 times 3 is going to be 24 feet cubed. This is the final answer. Okay, now let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Okay, and we're going to go to the second one. Pause if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and move forward. Okay, so here I have this shape. The one that we just did was a word problem. We are now going to work with a figure. Okay, so here, first thing I want to do is I want to understand that these are the heights, okay? So 15 is the height of the prism, okay? And then here, this top rectangle and the bottom rectangle, those are the bases, okay? So, now that I have that, I can go ahead and fill this in, okay? So here, this is the prism. It's a rectangular prism. The formula for area of a rectangle is going to be base times height. If you have your notes, you can see this a little bit better than on the video, but this is 2 and this is a 9. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 9. The prism height is 15, so now I'm going to multiply that by 15. So let's go ahead and we are going to write our formula. Remember, we can substitute this with base times height multiplied by prism height. This is going to be 2 times 9 times 15. 2 times 9 is 18. Okay, so over here I'm going to do 18 times 15. 8 times 5 is 40. 5 plus 4 is 9. 8 and then 1. And so this means that we will have 270. So volume of this prism is going to be 270 centimeters cubed. Okay? All right. So again, it's not the shape of is the shape a pyramid? It's not, so we are not going to do anything else. We're going to stop. That is our final answer. Okay, pause if you need to. Okay, and we're going to move on to the third example. Okay, so here you're going to need to give me a keyword to show me that you actually did this. Now, in 7th period, we went through these first 2 questions. 2nd period, 4th period, and 6th period and 8th period, you did not. So, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write this. If you wrote this, then I know that you watched my video. Okay. Chick-fil-A, 2 stars. Okay. All right, let's do number 3. So the edge length of the cube is 4 centimeters. Okay. So what that means is that this is all 4. Okay. That also means that this length right here is 4 and this length is 4. Okay. And if I think about this as the base, I now have the height and the base of the base. Okay. So let's continue. I'm gonna move this up just a little bit so y'all can see better. It's a little bit hard to see on my paper because I can't zoom in too much without getting everything off screen. But here, this is a rectangular prism. Okay, remember we are finding the area of the base. The base is a rectangle, so that's going to be area equals base times height. When we substitute, we are going to be substituting 4 times 4 because that is the base and height of the square. Okay, and then the prism height is going to be 4. So if we do this as not area, volume, I was thinking about what I just wrote. Okay, so if we are thinking about volume is equal to big base times height, we know that big B can also just be base times height times the prism height. That is going to be 4 times 4 in parentheses, and then 4. Okay, so 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, so over here I'm going to multiply 16 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. 4, 5, 6. So what I get is a volume of 64 centimeters cubed. Now, again, let's check ourselves. Is this a pyramid? No, it's not, so I can stop. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next question. Okay, so here, a container is shaped like a rectangular prism. The volume is 100. I'm going to underline this, 100 cubic feet. The area of the base of the container is 20 square feet. Okay, what is the height? So I have the volume. Usually we're trying to find the volume, and it's giving me the area of the base, and it's wanting me to find height. So we're going to have to work backwards. This is the formula we would use for the volume of a rectangular prism. Okay, I'm going to circle this here. I know that the formula for finding area of a rectangular base is going to be base times height, okay? But I already have that value, and that value is 20, okay? And then here, I don't know what the prism height is. That's the only thing I don't have. When it's asking you for the height, it's asking you for the prism height, okay? So I'm going to put an X there because I don't know what that is, okay? Now let's go ahead and plug in the information we have. I know that the volume is 100 cubic feet. I know that the area of the base is 20. I don't know the height, okay? So here what happens is I have to divide by 20 to get X by itself, okay? This cancels out. 100 divided by 20 is going to be 5. So that means that the value of X is 5, and therefore the height of the prism is 5 feet. This one is not going to be 5 feet cubed because we were finding just the area of the prism, which would be this length right here. Okay, remember if we had this written down, it would have been 4 centimeters, not 4 centimeters cubed, right? That's what we found here. And here, it's not a pyramid, we don't have to divide. All right, now pause if you need to, and when you're ready, go to the next page, okay? All right, here, we're going to work with finding volume of rectangular pyramids now, okay? Again, it's the cubic units that are needed to fill the space inside of a 3D figure, okay? So, if we're looking at this, the height of a pyramid is going to go from the middle, from the tip top to the middle, okay? And then the base, no, it broke, y'all. The base, this thing broke, is going to be the bottom part. Okay, so this right here is the base, and this is the height. Okay, so again, if we look at this one, the base goes all the way down. Okay, this is the height, and the base is going to be the rectangular at the rectangle at the bottom. Okay, so here, let's talk about the vocabulary. Okay, the base is going to, it's a rectangular pyramid, and in pyramids we only have one base, and it is going to be this shape. It's going to be in the shape of a rectangle. Okay, this is going to be found at the bottom of shape because there's only one base. Okay, now let's talk about big B. Okay, big B, it stands for area of the base. Okay, and you can find that by doing A equals base times height. All right, now if we look at faces, okay, in rectangular pyramids there is 4 faces, and there's 4 faces because there's 4 sides on a rectangle, okay, and all of these faces are going to be in the shape of a triangle, okay, and that is because they go up and they meet at a point, okay. Now height, H stands for height of prism or of pyramid. Let's say pyramid, not prism. Okay, and that is going to be found, that's the line that goes from top of pyramid to middle of base. Okay. Alright, pause if you need to, and then move down to the formulas. Okay, so for the formulas, you have to remember that you're going to get your answer, and then you're going to divide by 3. This only is done with pyramids, not with prisms. Okay, so the formula for this is going to be V equals big B times height. Now, the big B, let's see if I can move this over here. Okay, the big B, basically what it stands for is the formula of finding the area of a rectangle is going to be, let's write this on here, is going to be base times height because it's a rectangle, okay? And we're going to multiply by the height of the prism, the H, not prism, pyramid height, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this and we're going to divide by 3. I forgot to write 3 over here too though, okay? So we're taking big B times height, dividing it by 3. Again, big B just means that you're finding the area of the base, that's base times height of the base, multiplying it by the height of the pyramid, and then dividing it by 3, okay? Remember that big B is area of base, and you can find big B by doing base times height, okay? Hopefully you can see that. Okay, base times height. All right, pause if you need to, and then move to the next page. All right, so here, I'm going to go ahead and move to the next page. Okay, there, pause if you need to. All right, here is number 1, the first example, okay? Now, remember, this line that's going from the top of the pyramid to the center or middle of the base is going to be your height, your pyramid height. And then this rectangle at the bottom is the base, okay? So let's go ahead and put that information over here. So here, remember, this is a rectangular pyramid. The base is a rectangle, and the formula for a rectangle is going to be base times height. So if I'm looking at the pink, which is the base, this is the base, okay, that is going to be 5 times 4, okay? The pyramid height is going to be from the top of the pyramid to the middle of the base, which is 6, okay? Now, let's put this into a formula. Volume is equal to big B times height divided by 3. Remember, big B is simply just base times height of the base times the pyramid height, and we divide all of that by 3. So let's go ahead and substitute. 5 times 4 times 6 divided by 3. Okay, 5 times 4 is 20. So now I just have 20 times 6 divided by 3. Okay, I'm going to move this over here because I ran out of space. Okay, and I'm going to multiply 20 times 6 over here. Okay, that would be 0. 2 times 6 is 12. So I now have volume is equal to 120 divided by 3. Okay, okay. Now, remember, it's a pyramid, yes, so this is why we're dividing by 3, okay? I'm going to do 120 divided by 3 over here. 3 times 12, or 3 can go into 12 4 times. Okay, so that means that my volume is 40 millimeters cubed. Okay, that's the final answer. Okay, all right. Pause if you need to. I'm going to go to the next question. All right, let's look at the next question. So again, this is the height of the pyramid. Okay. This down here is the base. The rectangle is the base. Okay. This is a rectangular pyramid. The formula for finding the area of the base, which is a rectangle, is base times height. I'm going to be doing 4 times 8. The pyramid height is 6. Okay? So let's go ahead and fill this into our formula. Big base divided by 3. Big base times height divided by 3. Big base is simply just saying base times height of the base times the pyramid height, all divided by 3. So here, we're going to be substituting our formula with the correct numbers, 4 times 8 times 6, okay? Now remember, you can't just go and pick numbers. You have to understand what the base is and what the height of the pyramid is, okay? Now here, 4 times 8 is 32. Let me check real quick just to make sure I got my math right. Yes. Okay, so volume is equal to 32 times 6, all divided by 3. I forgot divided by 3 up here, so let's write that up there. Okay, now I'm going to do 32 times 6 over here. 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. I'm going to move this over here too because I ran out of space. So volume is equal to 192 divided by 3. Okay, now all I have to do is that division. 3 can go into 19 6 times. That'll be 18. And then it can go into 12 4 times. Excuse me, y'all. Okay, volume is equal to 64 feet cubed. This is the final answer. Now remember, we divided because it is a pyramid, so we have to divide by 3. Okay, all right. At this time, okay, you've already gotten these done for these 2 questions we did in class. The bottom questions we have not done. So pause if you need to if you did not get this in class. Now, the keyword for these I will give to you after we do the work for it, okay? So let's go ahead and we're gonna solve it first. I'm writing up here for my keyword that I'm gonna give y'all, okay? I will be checking in class if you did check your notes or take your notes by looking for all of this work and the keyword, okay? So here, this one, okay, it tells us that the height of the square pyramid is 8 meters, okay? It's important to take note of that. That means that from here to the center of this, it is 8 meters, okay? Something that you didn't see before. If you just look at the picture without reading that, you're not going to see that. So you do have to make sure you read carefully, okay? Now, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Okay, this is a rectangular pyramid. The formula for finding the area of a rectangle, which is this part right here, is base times height. And that is going to be 9 times 9. The pyramid height is 8, okay? All right, so volume is equal to big base times height divided by 3. Remember, big B is really just base times height. And all of that's multiplied by the pyramid height. And then we divide by 3. So let's substitute. 9 times 9 times 8 divided by 3. I'm going to move it over here. Okay, I know that 9 times 9 is 81. So that's going to be volume is equal to 81 times 8, all divided by 3. I'm going to multiply 81 times 8 right here. Okay, 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 8 is 64, so I get 648 divided by 3. Okay, now I ran out of space, so I'm going to use the calculator to help us here, okay? So 648 divided by 3 is going to be 216. Okay, so that means that the volume for this figure is going to be 216 meters cubed. Okay, and remember, we divided because it's a pyramid, and we divide by 3. Okay, all right. So let's do the next one. Pause if you have to get this down. Okay, here it already gives us all the information we need. This is the height of the pyramid, and right here we have the base. So we have the height and the base of that base. Okay, it is a rectangular pyramid. Okay, the formula for finding the area of a rectangular base is base times height. Okay, and we substitute those values, it would be 10 times 10. The pyramid height is going to be 12. Okay, so volume is equal to big base times height. Big base is really just base times height times the pyramid height, all divided by 3. I forgot the divided by 3 up here. All right, so again, substituting the values, 10 times 10 times 12, all divided by 3. I know that 10 times 10 is 100, times 12, all divided by 3. 100 times 12, didn't realize you can see, 100 times 12 is going to be 1,200, so volume is equal to 1,200 divided by 3. Okay, I'm going to move the answer over here since I ran out of space. We are going to take 1,200, let me do this actually right here, divided by 3. Okay, 3 can go into 12 4 times, and then into 0, and again 0 times. Okay, so it would be that volume is equal to this, volume is equal to 400 centimeters cubed. Okay, now remember, we divided by 3 because it is a pyramid. Okay, so this is the first part of the notes. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. Pause if you need to. By the way, the keyword for this page right here is going to be waffle fries. As you can tell, I just ate lunch. Waffle fries. Okay, I have Chick-fil-A and waffle fries. Okay, so here, pause if you need to, get this down, and then come back for the next video. Bye, love you all, have a good rest of the day.